Monkeys?
We're live.
Oh, shit.
I think we are.
Unique New York.
Get it together.
Get it together.
Get it together. Get it together, BJ.
Welcome to the Barrel Buddies.
I'm James.
I am Zach.
And I'm PJ.
Hey.
And we're coming to you live this Thursday after St. Patrick's Day.
Hopefully...
Let the spirit continue.
Yes, let the spirit continue. And hopefully it's Hair of the Dog for most of you. Can you please turn that down? I'm losing my mind.
We wanted to start with some Irish music.
It's piercing my soul.
Tunes of the Irish. Celtic tunes.
It's Tears of the Irish.
Tears of the Irish.
Drinking some Guinness, listening to some copyright-free music.
Cool. There we go. Cheers, no tears. Or is it tears, no cheers?
Well, it's tears in our beers if we continue to listen to that.
It will be. We're going to give it a minute here, let some people start joining, give everybody a moment to sit down, get the phone started up,
Crack a beer. Choose a libation.
Yep.
Find yourself some Tully, little Tullamore dew.
Maybe take a Tylenol or two.
Right.
Because if you partied last night, or if you're still deciding about whether or not you were going to party, since we had St. Patrick's Day in the middle of the week,
Oh, yeah.
midweek celebration this week, so there's not a lot going on. Maybe you partied or started the party last weekend. Hopefully the spirit continues, or maybe you're prepping for something fun this weekend. We are coming to you live after you've made terrible decisions to drink Jameson.
Ooh, that's always the extra shot. You get a beer and a Jameson. That's a common special.
And then you go, do you have pickle juice? Something to like wash the flavor out of my mouth?
Picklebacks.
It does work.
Yeah. I mean, it tastes like nothing afterwards.
It's amazing.
You're like, okay, I'm getting hammered, and my mouth doesn't taste like Jameson.
Yeah, that's the plus. You're like, oh, it's pickle juice, but it's not Jameson.
As long as it's not Jameson's, I'll take pickle juice over that.
Well, we have a great offering tonight.
We've got a couple.
Multiple offerings.
We've got a high end and a go get 'em low end, and easily a back to basics.
Go get 'em.
A go get 'em. An easily attainable go get 'em.
There we go.
Very easily attainable.
So James, what do we have to offer since you brought it up?
Well, Zach brought the first bottle, so why don't Zach, why don't you tell us where you got it and what you paid for it?
I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Yeah, we'll start with that.
Little Tullamore dew. I have never had Tully, actually. I've heard of Tully.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, super affordable Irish whiskey. I got this over at Total Wine. I think it was $20 after tax.
Very good.
I mean, what is that? $7.50 of.
A few people in the chat, not to cut you off, Zach. Redbeard's, hey guys. Shelly says hi, and Uncle Punky says hello from Lancaster, PA. Hello there.
Hello.
Can I have to correct her pronunciation just for Uncle Punky?
What is it? I'm sure it's some local.
It is. You just got to think about it as Link, and then Lancaster. It's like Lancaster.
Oh, that's like how we pronounce Peabody in Boston.
It's Peabody.
It's not Peabody.
Wait,
It's
Peabody.
Wait, is that like Nevada and Nevada?
Oh, Nevada.
Welcome to Nevada.
We're all from
Hello.
Nevada. So, and you know people that are not from Nevada because they pronounce it Nevada.
It's Ohio.
Or that's like Prescott and Prescott.
Yeah,
That's another good
The
word.
townies call it Prescott, and if
Yeah.
you know, you know.
You know.
I say Prescott. I don't know why.
So I like Tully. This is a go-to for me. I'm really glad that you bought this. Tully is a super approachable Irish whiskey, triple distilled.
Hold on, Uncle Punky spelled it out in the chat. Do you want to give a shot at that?
Oh, it's a Lankissit?
Lankistit?
Lankistit.
Lankissit.
Welcome to Lankistit.
Lankissit.
Is this like New Orleans and New Orleans?
Oh, we are way off topic. So back to Irish whiskey. Tully, I like Tully. It's super approachable. It's super affordable. How much you pay for this?
$20 after tax.
And that's a $7.50, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
You didn't find a half-C? You tried?
You know what's funny? When you buy the halvesies, they're not that much cheaper. Like
Really?
when you're in this price range,
Yeah.
you might as well just spend the $20 on the.
I'm sure it was like $15 for a half.
Exactly. You might as well just get the big one.
The chat is blowing up, and I'm not sure I like what's
Chris out there says Tully smells like a dirty butthole. So,
So would you like
to
some?
each his own. To each his own.
How about some?
I actually think this smells pretty tasty.
Would you
Yeah,
guys like to hear some tasting notes before
Please.
we get into it?
Tell us
Patrick,
about
hello.
it.
Safi,
Okay.
hello.
So
Yes.
what I'm reading is fruity and biscuity. These gristy notes with
Very biscuity.
there are gristy. This is gristy
I
notes.
like Gristy.
With caramel and toffee sweetness and plenty of peels. Sorry, that's the nose. The palate, good body with notes of sherried peels and spice. Granary toast with butter and honey, grains, and vanilla cream.
Sorry, it's not focusing, folks.
Finish, quite vegetal, and along with notes of caramel and toffee. So, yeah.
So here's something interesting that I just noticed, and maybe you guys or someone in the chat can tell us. It's called Tullamore Dew, and it's like an acronym. Like Dew is D.E.W. Is that
I've
a
never
name?
noticed that.
Oh.
I've never noticed that.
So,
You were
so
right.
if you look here on the bottle, Dew is D.E.W. So does that stand for? Is that someone's initials?
Daniel E. Williams.
Seriously?
Yeah.
The original distiller?
So the whiskey was originally produced in Tullamore County, Offaly, Ireland, at the old Tullamore Distillery and was established in 1829. Its name was derived from the initials of Daniel E. Williams, a general manager
Right there.
and later owner of the original distillery.
It's on the bottle.
It's right on the
Right on the bottle. At the
Yeah.
bottom here we have his signature, and it's
So he was the general manager and the owner. So.
That's really cool.
Okay, awkward silence. That was fun.
No, because Safi in the chat says, waiting for the swag. She looked up flasks with windows. Very cool. I am all about a flask with a window.
You are.
I think it just has this awesome pirate vibe.
So I'll tell you this about swag. We took some significant steps in swag this week. We are working out a couple of things, and I have some discussions to have with these guys. But we did find a producer of T-shirts, sweatshirts, anything you want to put our logo on. And they're going to produce it as it's ordered, so we don't have to order a bunch of stuff, hold it, and then ship it. They'll do that and then charge our account if somebody orders. So
Very cool.
yeah, that's actually
All right, so more to follow on that. We're gonna powwow after the show.
And Bourbon Cats is being designed as we speak.
Bourbon Cats.
Hashtag Bourbon Cats is being designed, and we'd like to invite you to share a picture of you and your cat and whatever it is you were drinking tonight. Post it up on our Instagram at the Barrel Buds.
And
on
we'll
Insta.
repost it. We'll repost it on our story.
And yeah, we'll be throwing that into the story. So go on to the instance. I wanted to know what the difference between whiskey and Irish whiskey was. Is
Oh.
it just whiskey that's distilled in Ireland?
And
What are
what's
the E and the Y?
Well, you'll notice that we have E's on both of these whiskeys, which is traditionally an American whiskey thing.
Oh.
Typically, your European whiskeys, or whiskeys outside of America even, don't have the E. It's WHISKY. But both of these whiskeys are with an KEY, which I think is really interesting.
So back really quick to hashtag Bourbon Cats.
Hashtag Bourbon Cats. Hashtag.
Shout out to Greg Manarino, the Robin Hood of Wall Street,
And his lions.
and his lions.
And our cats.
And our cats, I think that's gonna have a really good vibe. So we need to talk to Manarino and find out next when he's going to be on the show. And hopefully that next time he's on, we could debut.
That guy's been so busy.
I know.
I talked to him this morning, and he has been so busy. He's got so many things lined up and so many things going on.
Sure.
The market's been nuts, but Manarino's been super busy. But he does want to come back on the show. He's real excited. I got an answer about Irish whiskey and whiskey and bourbon. You ready?
What do we got?
Irish whiskey is kind of like bourbon, right? Bourbon is brewed distilled in America and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Has to be a certain thing. So Irish whiskey is whiskey that is distilled in Ireland, typically aged in a bourbon or a sherry barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's really the designation. At least that's what I found. If you know something different and like to share it, please pop it into the chat.
Great.
Taste notes. What are you guys getting on taste notes
I
here?
love the nose on this guy.
The nose is great. It drinks super smooth. I think it drinks super easy. I'm going to tell you right now, one of my favorite things to get in the Tullamore Dew, makes it a great gift. It comes in a clay like cask, like a bay rum jug, and I think it's actually even better out of the bay rum jug.
Ooh.
But I think this is delightful.
It's super thin. It's very light. It's a very light mouthfeel.
Super light bodied, makes it very approachable.
It's very light.
Peaty.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting significant peat.
It's got a little bit of smokiness, but I don't think that they use peat moss in the distillation.
Maybe it's
bottling, or aging
smokiness then.
process.
Maybe it's just.
It's a nice smokiness.
But it's like a grassy smoke. I know that sounds weird.
No, it's very
Grassy
earthy.
smoke.
I'm getting the earthy.
So
earthy.
in your taste description, you said something about earthiness, and I think it was the sherry.
Uh,
The notes of sherry.
So the palate, good body with notes and sherried peels.
So sherry peels, what I interpret that to mean is sherry, for any sherry drinkers or people who understand sherry or know sherry, it's typically a very earthy wine. It almost tastes like mushrooms at some time. If you've never had just cream sherry or sherry, it's very earthy. That's the best way to describe it. It's like liquid mushrooms or sweet mushrooms. It's very rich, and I think that sherry is contributing to your earthiness.
Yeah.
And the peels, I'm thinking more like apple peels, not orange peels.
No
It's
citrus.
that
Yeah.
bitter apple peel that's coming through, and I'm loving it though. I think it's a great balance, and to your point that it is very thin. It's a very light bodied mouthfeel. I think it makes it good for shooting and drinking.
But here's the thing. So you have that, I would say, almost delicate, light mouthfeel, but there's a significant amount of flavor, even though that's the case, right? Because normally we attribute a thick, viscous, rich whiskey or bourbon or scotch with equals a ton of flavor. We also think the opposite end of that spectrum. We think if it's delicate and thin, then it's going to be very one-sided and not flavorful. Where and I usually chat all over I've been chatting all over this until today.
Yeah.
It backs it up. So even though it's delicate and thin, it has, I'm not going to say a ton of complexity, but there's notes of complexity, there's smokiness, there's different flavors you're able to pick apart as you get into it. Easily approachable. I think I could give this, and I could sit this in front of anybody.
Yeah.
That I would just want to introduce into whiskey and say, "What do you think of this?" And they wouldn't be like, "What is that? What did you give me?" Like, this is super easy drinkable.
I agree.
Easy drinker.
I'm gonna make so I feel like I've been throwing darts at bullseyes on the aftertaste. So it's got a nice lingering aftertaste.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna call this one out too. Poor man's butter toffee, the one that's made with saltine crackers, and then when you take and you melt down the like caramel and lay over the top of it with melted candy bars.
You're on
like
point.
what you
though,
make at
tonight.
Christmas time.
Yeah.
That's
You're
the
on point.
end linger after flavor on this one. That salty, biscuity, that's the saltine cracker. That saltine cracker, caramel,
Yeah.
Werther's is a
So-
good ending. It's good.
Biscuity. I get that biscuity
Yeah.
taste, which I think you're kind of associating that with that saltine cracker.
Saltine cracker. Yeah, and so biscuity is a weird
Yeah.
flavor profile, right? You hear it even in that description. People are like, biscuity? What is that? Like a biscuit? Like a Bisquick biscuit? No, it's more like a cracker.
Cracker
Saltine.
crumb, doughy,
Mhm.
saltine,
Stale bread.
stale bread, like, but not in a bad way, right? Like,
Yeah, no,
enjoyable.
it's enjoyable. I'm gonna tell you right now, very surprised.
I knew you
After
would be.
having very
I
surprised.
pushed this one because I love it.
I thought this was going to drink like Jameson. I was
Yep.
ready to
I
win,
was-
and I was ready to pour that down the drain after we were done.
One and done.
But this is good. This is really good.
I was ready to shit all over.
I
it.
thank you. I thank you.
Absolutely.
I thank you.
I'm a fan.
Tullamore do. Give yourselves a favor and spend the $20. Put this in your Irish whiskey rotation. You're not going to be sad.
Yeah, for $20, I think that's
That, and here's the thing. Again, I'm the prime example of this. Don't go out there and just keep buying tons and tons of bottles, or do. But this
You are a prime example.
I was going to
of
say,
that.
I don't lead by example. But here's the thing. You can take this $20 bottle to a party any day of the week, and people will appreciate this. They'll drink it.
Mhm.
You can do shots of this.
Mhm.
This would be a great mixer. It's a very light mixer, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I think
maybe
you
like
could mix
this
this with
and,
Coke and it would be
like
great.
Coke, or I was even maybe like soda, like club
Like
soda,
ginger.
ginger.
This and ginger
Tully
would
and
be
ginger.
great.
Yeah, it would be.
It's got enough complex flavor that's going on. It'd be really enjoyable.
Yeah.
A little highball.
Do I want a bunch more of it personally? No. Like I'm digging the one glass. I probably wouldn't go out there and look for more Tullamore Dew, but I think it's a great entry level. I respect it for what it is. Easily, if a newcomer to the whiskey world, and they're like, yeah, I'm a big Jameson drinker. First label in my head would be Tullamore Dew.
Yes, it should be.
Let's give them a shot of Tully, or a rocks glass, whatever. How do you think this would taste on the rocks? I mean, similar?
Delightful. I think it'd be great. So this would be one of those that I think you would lose some of the complexity to ice. I think the chilled atmosphere of that would you'd lose out on some of the stuff. But I think there's enough strong flavor in this that it would really hold up to ice well, and it'd be one of those. Throw it on the rocks, and you could drink it at a bar, and you'd be real happy about it. It's one of those that would last and last and last, and you could probably drink this all night.
What's interesting, like when you say put it on the rocks, normally, when you put booze on the rocks, you kind of want to meet the flavors, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's too strong, whatever, right? I'm kind of curious what this tastes like on the rocks, but
we'll do a little rocks.
yeah, we can do a little rocks or whatever, right?
We got enough stuff going on that we're not going to go into it, but we'll rock some flavor that.
So to continue our St. Patty's Day, we got our Guinnesses in hand.
Room temperature almost.
Almost room temperature.
Hey,
But
warm beer.
That's
They
what
drink warm beer in Europe, right?
that's exactly how they drink it over
Established in
Across the pond.
1759.
there. Across the pond, they're drinking it at
It is St. James Gate, Dublin.
Dublin.
Ireland.
That's for you.
Ireland. There it is.
Okay, so let's get into nose and let's do some score and rating because I'm real excited to get into our second offering tonight.
What do you guys give it on the nose? Zach, kick us off.
I am going to give it a 2.5 on the nose.
That's
Oh,
strong.
that's
Yeah, I
strong.
thought it was delicious. I thought everything that was in the description was pretty much spot on. And then once we get into taste, that'll
Sure.
we can kind of do that.
BJ, what do you give it for nose?
It's sweet but kind of one-sided. I think that the nose doesn't give away a lot, but it is enjoyable. I'll give it a solid 2.
I will echo a lot of your opinion on that. I thought it was a little bit one-sided on the nose, not
Just a little.
super spectacular, but not off-putting. I don't know that it's enough for me to give it a 2. I think I'm going to give it a 1.5.
Do it.
Just because I thought it was a little one-sided on the nose.
It is.
And there's stuff that we've had that's like, OMG, what are we about to drink?
Grassy. When you talk about grassy, I think grassy comes through in the nose. I mean, it kind of tastes, or it kind of smells like spring. I mean, it's like what you want out of St. Patrick's Day Irish whiskey.
Well, kick us off with taste to go into your tasting score.
I'm gonna give taste on this is to me a solid 3. I love.
Wow.
It's a solid 3. I love the light body. It makes it really enjoyable to drink. That light body, sometimes it's so. I'm a wine drinker as well, and so I know I've got wine drinkers in the chat tonight. There are times, as much as you love a Cabernet, that you've just got to go away from that to get into a good, full-flavored Pinot, just because you need that light body on the palate. And so Tully is kind of, to me, the same way. This is a good step away where you're not sacrificing flavor and complexity, but you're picking up that light body that just lets you enjoy it. I think that gives it a 3 for me, and I enjoy what's going on. So
Great. Zach, what do you give it for taste?
I'm going to give it a 2.5 again. Because normally with light-bodied whiskeys, they just you taste it and then everything goes away, right? Or it's super astringent. It tastes like just straight up rubbing alcohol. But all of the tasting notes. Let's go back to it again. The earthiness, the peels and spice, granary toast and butter. I mean, all of that came through.
and it doesn't just go away, right? I mean, it lingers. It stays on the palate.
Yeah. Normally, I like an Elijah Craig where it just sticks to you, right? And this, kind of it sticks with you for a while and then kind of fades away after time. But I enjoyed it.
Great. So I've been pretty critical of my ratings. I'm just kind of looking back here at what I've rated some of our previous beverages in the same classification.
Have another.
And I think I'm kind of at a crossroads between 1.5 and 2. I thought it was interesting. It wasn't anything to write home about. Again, we're seasoned drinkers here, so it takes a lot to really wow us or even register on the meter. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna give it a 1.5. I mean, again, we're talking about Tullamore Dew here. It doesn't really have a reputation for being amazing. So it's just average.
Wait, hold on. What'd you give the taste for early times?
I gave early times a 2. I would drink early times over Tullamore Dew.
Really?
Any day.
Wow. Okay, I don't want to get into that, but that's a discussion. That could be another show.
See,
I think we've got a March Madness show in the making with everything we've had. I think we've got brackets. I think the bourbon cats out there want to get in on maybe some brackets. Let us know. I think we could bracket whiskeys.
See the early times is what I was talking about. That's that taste that like it hits your tongue and then it's like drinking like spiked water.
Yeah, but this isn't lingering at all either. Like this doesn't I sip it and it's gone.
I disagree, but that's cool if that's what you're entitled to. Your rate.
It's fine.
Very subjective. Give us totals here.
So right now we need to do value.
Oh, value.
So our value score, you know what? For $20, I am going to give it a 3 for value. I think it's a solid value. That's where I'm going to make up for the rest of the points lacking.
I'm good.
$20 is well worth it. It gets a 3. Guys, what do you got, BJ?
For as good as it is and as easily attainable, that's a 3.
Zach?
I will give it a 3 as well. I was expecting the worst, and then it came out to be pretty damn decent.
Any blown away bonuses out there?
Not tonight.
I think you know what's funny with someone with the rating that I gave that, I was just thinking about it. I think I was expecting the worst, and then I liked it because it wasn't the worst. So I don't know. Maybe my rating's a little off.
So blown away bonus is hard for me to give now because we had that cake. We did that cake episode. If you missed the cake episode, a taste of cake.
Glenmorangie cake.
Glenmorangie, and it made me cry.
Yeah, that's the golden.
I
like
cried.
the blown away button or the blown away bonus is like the golden button.
I cried.
Yeah. It doesn't happen very often.
I'm really hyped about this bottle we're about to crack.
Unbox it.
So,
show us the box.
How about this? You start reading the box. I'll show the bottle to the people.
This is the Redbreast single pot still Irish whiskey, aged 15 years. This is considered the definitive expression of single pot still whiskey. It's a warm introduction of complex yet balanced ripe berries, aromatic oils on the nose, with rounded mellow succulence of fleshy fruit, spice, and toasted oak. A long and sophisticated finish. And then we're hearing here, the robin redbreast is the only bird which sings continuously throughout the dark Irish winters, and is one of the very few...
Is that the song it's singing?
That's the song. You guys nailed it.
That's probably like
It was the song I was playing when we started the show.
Caw.
Oh, whippoorwill! Oh, whippoorwill!
There you go.
It sings continuously throughout the dark Irish winter and is one of the very few small birds that choose to winter in Ireland. In this enduring spirit, which inspires its namesake, Redbreast Irish Whiskey, Redbreast is regarded as the definitive expression of single pot still Irish whiskey. And might I add, it is one of 2 single pot still Irish whiskeys. The other is Green Spot.
Yeah. Are your glasses cleaned out? I see
I
some
cleaned mine.
residual. Zach, you need to
Clean
the filth out of your glass.
Made from a mash of malted and unmalted barley, and then triple distilled in copper pot stills, Redbreast 15 is comprised exclusively of pot still whiskeys matured in fine oak casks for no less than 15 years. A careful balance of first fill and refill casks accentuate the assorted spices within Redbreast's characteristic full and complex flavor. Again, we're going to remind you of the tasting notes here. Your nose should be full and rich with complex yet balanced mix of berry fruits and aromatic oil.
Well, very
So
long.
excited for this. Oh, berry bomb.
I don't disagree.
Okay, I thought you were gonna be
That
like
is a berry bomb,
completely
yeah.
false.
Berry berries. Wow, berry.
Whoa.
Lots of berries.
How? So that has to be from the sherry.
Like creamy strawberries, blackberries, berry berries.
Yep. So since this is aged for 15 years in a sherry
Wow.
barrel, sherry barrels, right? Sherry.
This is sherry. Yeah.
That's where you're getting the berries. Is from the sherry berry. Barrels.
Sherry berry barrel.
Sherry barrel.
How
berries.
very astute of you.
It's a very, it's so astute, James.
So very astute of you.
Ooh, taste them and smell that berry.
Okay, your tasting notes once again.
It was a berry.
It was like word porn.
Yeah.
Word porn that up again. Fully round and mellow. With the succulence of fleshy fruit. Combined with
fleshy fruit?
spices and toasted wood.
Did you do the audiobook for what was that?
50 Shades of Grey?
Shades of Grey.
Oh my!
Maybe. Hey.
Isn't there another one? It's like 50 Shades Darker.
Oh God!
And then 50 Shades Darker than that.
Oh wow! Well, cheers, gents, to a very,
A berry berry.
very,
A very berry whiskey.
Let's see what fleshy fruit is.
We're about to taste. Tasting the flesh.
Wow. That's unique. All right, so I'll give you a little history lesson
Unique.
from what I know, and you know a little bit more to fill in the gaps here. So, James, you were real excited about this Redbreast. This is one of 5 iterations. They do a 12-year cask strength, the 15, the 21, and the 27. So this is right in the middle.
Yep.
The 15 is right here in the middle. This goes back to the 1800s. It was Gilbey's that was originally doing this. And so what they were doing was they were buying distillate from Jameson and Sons. Then they were selling that distillate to wine producers in England. So they'd ship it across.
Interesting.
Then they would age it in sherry and bourbon oak barrels. Once it came to the age statement, they would sell it back to Gilbey's. Gilbey's would buy it back for the time spent, and then would bottle it and sell it as Redbreast. They did stop doing that, I think in the 80s. It stopped off. It got picked back up.
Yeah, there was some political nonsense. I mean, Redbreast really just came back in the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. Yeah, this is back on the beat. It has been gone for a little bit.
Yeah. This is interesting. It's just it's.
What do you guys? I'm reading some tasting notes, just kind of random ones. Dried fruits, marzipan, possibly. I don't know.
So marzipan is like an almond candy, and
I'm not getting that. Like,
I don't think that.
Yeah, I'm just going through just to see what other people are saying.
I'm gonna give you this.
I mean, dried fruit.
If I could define what a fleshy fruit is, if you took a whole peach, skinned it, threw it in the oven on low heat, and slow baked it, and then cut into it, that's what I think of as a fleshy fruit, and I'm getting that. It's like warm baked peach.
Mm-hmm.
And it's chewy. Like, this tastes chewy to me.
Yeah,
Interesting. That's that fleshy, right? I think there's
I'm getting that. Like on the sides of your mouth. Yeah.
full bodied, right? It's that
Very full body.
very full bodied.
This is definitely.
Very juicy, very fruity.
Yeah.
Is the chat even happening?
Yeah, it was like test in the chat here. It really just kind of died out.
I really thought that, given some of the people that are in there, I was surprised that they weren't
Some feedback.
saying anything. But
Wow.
very fruity. I don't think dried fruit or marzipan at all. I think real fruit, fresh fruit, plums. Like there's a big stone fruit.
So there's like a lot going on with
It's
this,
super complex.
and it's almost so much where I can't really pick everything out. And maybe it's that I'm so attuned to bourbons and American whiskeys that when I'm not a normal All right, we got people there in the chat.
Floral, very floral.
Yeah, so I'm not accustomed to an Irish whiskey flavor profile,
Same here.
so it's throwing me off a little bit, but not in a bad way. It's just different. Right?
Fleshy fruit.
This
What
is
about,
really,
what about like a prune? Pruny?
No.
I don't know.
No, again, I said plum earlier.
No, it's like a baked.
But this is not dry.
Like
This is not dry.
fruit.
It's baked. It is. It's like a full ripened, perfect fruit, like a stone fruit, at the peak of its perfection after you've now baked it, not dried it.
Yeah.
It's really so it kind of goes back to that whole delicate. That it's got some delicate flavors, really complex. It's kind of blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's like meaty. It's just meaty and
That's
rich.
That's a really good observation. Kind of like mead. It's got that sweetness.
And you just get this
And
like
it is really rich.
it's rich, succulent. It's exactly like some of those flavor profiles. Like you get that.
This is a sexy whiskey, that's for sure.
And I know you guys can't see it on the
Color
chat,
is
but you got
gorgeous.
legs for days on that. Just like
Give me a little-
syrupy.
give me a little-
No, you just pounded it. Give him.
No, I'm actually
Give
enjoying it. I'm actually
give a
enjoying
full
it.
pour over there. No, it's great actually. Once you get into it, it just takes. I think it takes a minute.
Drinky McDrinkerson.
I'll take a little top off.
Yeah, this is highly interesting.
Yeah, I don't
What's
think
we haven't even talked about percentage on this.
Or where I got it and what the price was. So.
See, this is like kicked our bony
Yeah.
little butts here. This is very interesting.
So it's 45%.
46.
46. Okay.
And it does drink like that. It doesn't drink hot at all.
So I purchased this today at Corey's. Shout out to Corey's in Henderson. Over here.
Yeah.
There it is.
Woo.
It was their last one, and they did not expect to get any more in anytime soon.
Well, hang on to that. That's this is a special.
Yeah.
This is a special.
Which, that's good that hopefully we won't drink the whole thing tonight. And it was $80, $85 for a 15-year Irish whiskey.
You know what? For a middle of the road iteration of what it is, it's okay. Yeah. It's kind of what you'd expect.
I don't know though. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to expect for an Irish whiskey that's 15 years old for $80. Like I don't have any.
So let's not call it Irish whiskey. Let's just call it a 15-year whiskey.
The closest 15-year I could maybe.
What's Whistle Pig 15?
I was gonna say Whistle Pig 15. But I mean that's a rye. That runs for 200-ish a bottle.
Well, then this is a high
This
value.
is a
then.
steal then for a 15-year for under
What
$100.
other 15s? Glenfiddich,
Scotches. There's some.
the 15-year.
Orangey. They got.
That's going for 120.
Glenfiddich. They got.
So this is kind of a steal
Yeah.
then. And I would drink this over that Glen 15.
Oh, easily. If I had a choice.
I'm sorry, but the Glen
No, that-
15 that just came out, that pack of 15, 14, and 12, garbage.
The 12 was better than
It's
15.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, the Glenmorangie 3-pack?
Mhm.
No, it wasn't Glenmorangie.
No,
Oh,
Glenlivet.
Glenlivet, thank you. It was the
Yeah.
Glenlivet
I
3-pack.
was like, we have
The
those.
12, 14, and 15, it's garbage.
No, but the
Older-
12 is great.
Yeah, and older was not better.
No.
Yeah, 12 is good, 15 is like good.
All right, let's get into some
So-
scoring. We can't just sit here
So-
and awe all night.
Why don't you kick us off, BJ, with the nose? What's your nose rating?
I like the Tully nose a lot better.
A lot better.
Yeah,
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
right. I'm gonna give the nose a 1.5. It's unique. It doesn't smell like whiskey. That's the thing that's weirding me out.
Well, it's Irish whiskey, right?
It's still whiskey.
Whiskey with the wine.
It's from the Kingdom of
It's an
Ireland.
EY. This one is an EY too.
Whiskey.
It's the whiskey.
I'm giving 1.5. Zach?
Zach, what is your nose on there?
You know what? I'm gonna give it a 2. What I would expect. I mean,
I'm riding Zach there. I'm gonna say it's 2 as well. He's on point. I think.
there's a lot of spice to this. I don't know if you guys agree to
Like
it.
a spiced
Spice.
cider though.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you.
Christmas spice,
Yeah.
like star anise, like that type of
You
spice.
taste, you bring out, you taste a lot of baking spices in whiskey, right? But this one, you didn't mention it.
It's like cinnamon and sugar. It's like it's like cinnamon and sugar that you sprinkle on toast.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I like that in the nose. Especially given what the flavor
and,
profile
and
is.
berries, like berry bomb.
It is a
tons of
berry bomb.
berries.
Yeah, first off, berry bomb.
I
It
like that.
is
That's
a little,
that's the sugary sweetness.
yeah. But it's got a lot more astringent than the Tullamore.
It's unique.
I don't know. So
I'm
I'm
not
like,
loving that nose.
I'm continuously smelling it, and I think that astringency goes away very quickly.
It does. No, it's very sweet. I don't think it's astringent. It's sweet.
I like that sweet smell. It's right up my alley. I'm torn between a 2, 2.5. I'm giving it a 2.
Okay. Flavor, Zach.
Taste.
Flavor. So, you know, we went after, you know, we kind of read the bottle for the tasting notes and all that. The fleshy fruits, those are definitely, that's something that really comes out in it. The spice comes out in it. I think it's got a lot more kick than the Tullamore do.
Yeah.
This one's quite a bit lighter. Tullamore do. The Redbreast will, yeah, I mean it kind of warms you up. But both of these are kind of they're still like on the light end of of taste. I will give that a 2.
Fantastic.
So, for you and for the viewers, this is a tasting technique that we haven't talked about before. You and I have talked about because you recently did this in Napa.
Oh yeah.
Take a swig, then look down, like bend your neck and breathe out through your nose and mouth.
Right as you swallow, look down, and then breathe in and out from your mouth. But then breathe in your nose as well. Then breathe in, and you'll pull in different flavors.
You do
and
change some of the
smells.
flavor profiles. This Redbreast gets a 3 on flavor from me, and I really enjoyed doing that quick taste there at the end. A creamy profile that comes through on that, but the flavor is really what's special about this. It doesn't taste like any other whiskey I've ever had.
Agreed.
Ever. I've never had anything that
Yeah.
tastes like that, calling itself a whiskey.
So that's
Special.
I wanted to talk. So this is a single pot still Irish whiskey. So I wanted to quickly read. They have a good little statement here on the box. Unless
Blurb it out.
Did you
Yeah.
already go through this?
I haven't gone through that.
you
No.
got through
Blurb
What's
it
still
out.
versus what's
So well, there's single pot, and then there's like column stills, right? So column stills are what they use here in the United States for American whiskey.
Okay.
So column stills are like those column copper. They're like copper smokestacks, you know, right? With
They're like columns.
Columns.
yeah,
And
a regular old
Um,
still that you know that you've seen before.
with a pot still, it's like one big giant copper vat.
It's a big round
And
thing.
you're getting, supposedly, you're pulling in more flavors from the mash bill, whereas column still, you're really pulling all of that flavor and those essential oils out into the white lightning that before it goes into a barrel. Whereas when it's done in a single pot still, you're retaining a lot of those natural oils, essences from the mash that they believe translates into the finished product, which I think it absolutely does, and this is very unique.
How big is a pot still versus a column still?
So there's a picture. I think we looked it up, but a pot still is huge.
Gigantic.
Really?
Like huge, as in it would probably fill this entire room of one giant copper
Pot.
vat, like a pot.
Wow.
It's like a pot belly pot.
So not
Yeah.
like I'm huge in Japan.
like I'm literally huge.
So here we go, really quickly. So single pot still Irish whiskey is unique to Ireland. It is regarded as a quintessential style of Irish whiskey, safeguarded and nurtured under the watchful eye of the Middleton Distillery for almost 200 years. Wow.
The pot still is that old?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Single pot still Irish whiskey
Wow.
is made from a mash of malted and unmalted barley and then triple distilled in traditional copper pot stills. Pot still Irish whiskeys are characterized by full, complex flavors and a wonderful silky mouthfeel. And there's a little gold mark on here, and it says this mark certifies this whiskey as a single pot still whiskey from the renowned Middleton Distillery in Middleton County, Cork, Ireland. So it's from Cork.
Soak at the cork.
And I don't know if you can see it. I know it's tough. Our camera is not that good.
You know what's interesting? The Willet bottle is in the shape of a pot still. I'm looking at it right now.
And that's the little
insane.
crest.
Huh.
I know it's not going to focus on it, but yeah.
Oh, it adjusted right as you.
It did? Okay, well, they got a quick glimpse of it.
All right. So what is your what's your score on taste?
3. I definitely give it a 3 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's very different from anything we've had on the show. I love the nuances, the picking out different flavors. I think if we let it sit here and we cut it, we could take the show another hour, and I'm sure we could get plenty more additional flavors from it.
So I'm not sure I would cut this, and I'm not sure I would add ice to this. Like, there's something about this that makes me go, I don't want to change this, like, at all. I don't want to mess with this.
I'm with you.
It seems like it's the way it's supposed to be, and I want to leave it that way.
I'm going
All
to
right.
jump right into value.
Value me.
Hands down, we kind of touched on it. Compare this to another run-of-the-mill 15-year. You're finding no whiskey. You can find Scotch 15-year for under 100, but it's not good Scotch. For a solid Irish whiskey, 15-year age statement, complex taste, etc., we'll say $85 price point, 3. It's a 3 hands down. Great value. To have this on your shelf for a special occasion that, every, payday Friday, you're going to go out and have a few beers and then break out something special and have a cigar or something. This is it. It gets a 3 hands down.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. I think that for a 15-year whiskey,
Yeah.
because I don't know enough about Irish whiskey. I haven't
Same.
had enough Irish whiskeys. But if we're talking 15-year
But this is a good start.
whiskey, this
It's
is
not
a
Irish
great
whiskeys.
start. This is a great start. We might need quarter 2 might be international. We might take quarter 2 as our international quarter.
Black Velvet.
No. Goose in the corner. No.
That's Canadian.
No.
Really quick, Shelly says, I'm going to need some Barrel Buddies bifocals if I have to read that label. That's what I'm counting on you guys for.
We got you, Shelly.
We're getting in the game. Yeah, no value. Again, we talked about this. There's a 12 single barrel. The 15's right in the middle.
Cask, yeah.
The 21 and the 27. This is right in the middle. This is their statement right in the middle. I think that this is a great, for $80, 15 years, right in the middle of what they're producing. I think that's a 3.
Zach?
I'm going to compare that, so this 15-year to pretty much all of the other 15-year bourbons that I can think of, right?
Yeah.
And most of those are like 200 and up, easy, right?
Exactly.
So I would also give it a 3. For $80, I mean, that's a deal for a 15-year Irish whiskey.
And for those of you in the Las Vegas area, we want to once again shout out to Corey's for
having us.
Hooking me up to
hooking up the last bottle here for us for the show.
Yeah.
This was a big deal for us. So if you're in the Las Vegas area, you haven't been to Corey's, or you haven't been in a while, they are back open and they are back to seating. So go show some love and let them know the Barrel Buddies sent you.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys right now, I am working on a deal. It's been very difficult for me to get a hold of, but I'm looking at getting a 27.
Woo!
And that's going to be when we do one of our big ultra rare shows.
Come on.
Working on it.
All right, seriously though, we need to think about it. Hey, those of you in the chat, would you do a whiskey bracket?
So how would it work? So how would you would we bet a bottle or something? Like winner gets a bottle of the
Well, I
bracket?
hadn't even thought like that. I was just like,
I'm thinking
we bracket it and based not on tasting, just on our knowledge, and then votes on Instagram, and then we bracket out, and then we go head to head. We do a head to head tasting show. We could do that over the next week and a half.
That's a lot. That's a lot of some maintenance.
What do we have Zach for?
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Well, we got Zach
We'll
for.
see. Let the minds stew on it.
Yeah, let the wizards do their work.
Wizards work their magic.
The magicians do their magic.
Yeah.
Well, what a show.
That's it. Unless there's anybody, you've got anything in the chat for us, guys. We're looking at what are we doing next week? What are we thinking for next week's show?
Good question.
Is it the final Back to Basics week?
It is the final Back to Basics week. You guys
Thank
have been champs.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what we got.
Yes.
We have special guests next week.
Oh, we do.
You say this because you forgot. Well, I forgot, but you remembered.
Hold on. So first of all, we can't have the show on Thursday. I'm traveling, so we were thinking about having it on Friday.
Or Friday or Saturday, so we got to work that out.
No,
No
we
Saturday.
can't do Saturday.
Saturday's the day.
The day we're going out to California,
California Day.
Oh,
so we probably shouldn't do it on Friday then, if we're gonna really time one on, unless it's a quick.
we'll do a quick show on. Well,
We'll figure it out.
we'll get back.
We'll get back
We'll
to
let
you,
you know.
friends. We'll
We'll
get
let you
back
know.
to you.
Hashtag scheduling issues, but our next show we are slated to have special guests from the Masonic or Not podcast, a podcast that
Whoa.
explores things that are tied back to secret societies
Interesting.
and whether or not they should be or should not be and where those come from. It's a cool history podcast. It does get a little heady sometimes. But we got some good friends there that want to do a little cross promotion, so we'll have them on.
Yeah.
They are appreciators of the finer things in life.
That's great.
So
That's great.
yeah, we'll be bringing on our friends there with them, and then of course we're always looking to bring back Manarino. So
Yeah, no, Manarino will definitely. I would say he's probably due in about 2 weeks. I would say. He said he wants to be on once a month.
it sounds about right. So yeah, we'll roll him in and we'll do something. He's brought 2 really stellar picks. We'll break something out.
I almost don't want him to bring anything.
No,
this
he
time.
should not.
He's
we need to treat him.
Shout out to Greg.
We need to treat
Greg
him.
and the Lions.
Yeah, Greg Manarino has brought some insane multi-$100 bottles, and I know that's not the right. I had a few to drink. Multi-$100. They're very expensive bottles, and we don't need them to bring
Have
anything
another.
else. I'm going to have another of that 15.
Woo!
Once we
15
close this
insane.
show.
All right. Well, we've talked enough.
Yeah.
Again, thanks for tuning in to Barrel Buddies, the weekly.
What was
whiskey-
Zach's value?
Oh,
Oh,
he gave it
that's a
3
treat.
Okay, 3.
for a final score of.
Any blown away bonus?
No.
That pretty much, that's getting us, like, looking at these numbers, we're averaging like an 8.5 to 9
Solid.
out
Solid.
of 10. Just, we're right there.
What did the Tully get and what did the Redbreast get?
So the Tully, I kind of shat on the Tully, so we're probably looking at like a 6 for the Tully, looking at our average-ish, 6.5.
That's not bad. I mean,
I
like,
yeah, no, it's
I
not
think
a big
Jack.
stretch.
Yeah, I think Jack. What was it? 107.
Yeah,
I think that ended up getting.
no,
like
the
a
gold.
6. Oh, the
Jack Daniel's
gold.
gold.
Oh yeah, no, that one got it.
Daniel, thanks for joining us. He said first time tuning in. Good show, guys.
Hey,
Oh, hey.
Dan, thanks for joining, man.
So Thursday and Fridays, we usually try to schedule our shows.
Whiskey
And
Wednesdays,
we
Thursday,
had it for
Thursdays.
Wednesday. We're all kind of all over the place.
Freak Out Fridays, yeah, we've been
So
going on
let's
that.
do our quick pitch. Please subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll know when we're live.
Ring that bell.
Ring the bell. I hate to say that
Give
because
us a like.
it's so cliche. Please like
Smash
us.
that like.
Give us a like.
We're still not monetized, which means we still need a couple hundred hours of viewers to watch our videos before we can start making a penny on.
And don't forget to
There you go.
subscribe.
Yes.
Money means bottles.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
My quick pitch: money equals bottles, and we are using none of this for our own personal gain. It all goes back in to reviews of alcoholic drinks for you guys.
And
So
And-
we all have day jobs.
And for those of you that are joining us new or have recently joined us, go back. The production value is not as good on our earlier shows, but there are some
yeah.
really funny moments that are definitely
A couple
worth
of
it.
laptop
Shot
shows.
show, the wine show
Ah.
at the fun house. We had some good old.
We had
shows.
some good old shows.
Shot
We
show
should
was
go
a shit
back
show.
eventually and do a montage.
Best of montage.
Best of montage.
Yeah, we need to work on that. That might be what I work on while you're gone.
Yeah, one of us needs to really get our video skills, or we just hire some. I go on Fiverr and get us some video editor.
No.
Or
All right.
we'll see.
Hugh
Thanks
wants
again for tuning in.
Thanks all. I'm James.
it. I'm Zach.
And I'm BJ. See you guys soon.
See you everybody. How do I stop this thing?